In a world of glowing screens, instant news, and endless scrolls, one medium dares to remain tactile, permanent, real. This is the story of the magazine, and why in 2025 we still believe in ink and paper. Unlike a book, which is a collection of pages that record or present information, unlike a newspaper built for daily or weekly headlines, a magazine is a curated experience, crafted with purpose, rhythm, and editorial vision. A magazine is built around a central theme or lifestyle. It's intentional and aims to perpetuate a message. Explore magazine, for instance, orbits around outdoor adventure, gear, travel, and environmental stewardship. Magazines are recurring, monthly, quarterly, biannually. They become part of a reader's rhythm, not a one-time read, but an ongoing relationship. In a flyer, design is functional. In a magazine, design is storytelling. Magazines are visual playgrounds, typography, photography, layout. They're not just informative, they're aesthetic experiences. Unlike digital media, which is fleeting and editable, magazines are meant to be kept, stacked, shared, reread, and passed along. Magazines, as we know them, date back to the 17th century, after the printing press became prevalent, when publishers realized pamphlets and flyers took too much time and energy, and sought to establish regular readers with specific interests. German theologian and poet Johann Rist published the first true magazine between 1663 and 1668, called Edifying Monthly Discussions. Many were inspired to carry this legacy forward, and magazines of all kinds bloomed, encouraging education and literacy. Jean Danot de Visay published the first periodical of amusement, called Le Mercure Galant, which included news, short stories, and poetry, a combination of information and pleasure that became extremely popular. The Athenian Mercury, the first magazine written specifically for women, appeared in 1693. The Gentleman's Magazine, published in London in 1731, was the first to use the word magazine, from the Arabic word makhazin, meaning storehouses. Through the centuries, the magazine evolved from educational pieces to entertainment to a combination of both. Today, there are picture magazines, gossip magazines, news magazines, and of course, adventure magazines. From the beginning, magazines have connected people, from the political revolution of the 18th century to the cultural movements of the 20th. In 1981, in Canada, something special was born for those who chase trails over trends. Explore magazine. In 1980, Peter Thompson was at a crossroads: pursue academia abroad or take a leap into something entirely different. He chose the latter, and in doing so founded Explore magazine. With nothing but passion, energy, and a $10,000 loan, he set out to create a publication that celebrated the outdoors: hiking, climbing, skiing, mountaineering, activities that reflected his own love for adventure. What began as an Alberta-based magazine soon grew into a national voice. There were national hunting and fishing publications, he wrote, but no national outdoor adventure and travel magazine, and so Explore was born. And for over 4 decades, Explore has done just that, chronicling the Canadian spirit of adventure from the Rockies to the Maritimes, winning over 200 media awards since 1981. Gear guides, epic expeditions, expert advice from voices like Kevin Callan and Will Gadd. Every issue is packed with insight and inspiration for everyone, from seasoned backcountry explorers to weekend wanderers. Today, under the leadership of President and publisher David Webb, Explorer continues to thrive in print, against the grain of an industry almost gone fully digital. David's journey into the magazine world began with a love for storytelling.
I studied writing at the University of Victoria, fiction writing, actually. I always loved Explore. I spent most of the first kind of, not quite, well, maybe almost half of my career in like more hunting and fishing and boating outdoor activities. But I was like really into, more like the hiking, skiing kind of stuff.
He's seen firsthand the evolution of magazines.
But for the most part, there wasn't really a digital aspect to any magazine in Canada at that point in time. And then as the like websites, digital like started to pick up steam, 2004, 2005, by like 2006, that was all changed. Everyone had a website at that point in time, and it had content. And then what you saw was like print magazines following that model. Like they were almost recreating the website experience. And then magazines actually began to like kind of revert back to that periodical sort of luxury good, because there was so much content online that people are like, well, why do I want to subscribe to a magazine if I can get all online? It's like, okay, what experience can I give you? And leaning into like a luxury good type of model where articles are bigger, they're more in depth, they're longer reads, the paper quality is better. A lot of magazines kind of figure like, how can we, the ones that are doing it well anyway, I think, just providing something different from what they get online.
Print is no longer just a source of information, it's an experience. A slow, thoughtful, tactile escape from the noise of digital life.
But it's a curated experience where you kind of like are guided through it. So you tend to lean back, it's a bit slower, it's a bit more in depth. You're not sure what's on the pages, but you hope they follow your interests, and you're just kind of taken through a bit of a journey that you might not have gone on anyway. That's kind of the key differentiator, that it's not that instantaneous gratification. I need to know this recipe right now. I need to know this hike right now. I need to know like what pair of shoes I should buy today. But it's a bit more purposeful and thoughtful. I think that it provides people with a break, a quietness, a low anxiety, a low stress, a low distraction way to kind of lose yourself a little bit, a way to unplug.
David also addressed the environmental responsibility that comes with print production.
So, I mean, it starts with the paper, with us choosing our printer. So we do a tight print run to what is needed without a lot of excess, or really any excess. Being, it's a consumptive product. Obviously, it does use paper products, forest products. That these products, come from a renewable resource. These forests are replanted and for future generations, and they're strategically harvested. Again, there's lots of room for improvement. Not going to say there are, but ultimately, like, we feel comfortable that we're using the most sustainable paper we can.
And what about the future of print? David remains optimistic.
Our print magazine isn't going anywhere. It's actually growing right now. In 100 years, what will print mean? Maybe it's some kind of digital technology that, like, print just is almost a synonym for a paid media product. Maybe that's what it means, or the way it's curated. I can't, I don't have a crystal ball, but I think that this curated, editor curated, editor vetted, packaged product is going to exist, for the foreseeable future. I want people to know that it is an accessible magazine, that it's not just for like high level athletes and summiting peaks and doing, and we like to tell some amazing stories of people doing things like the stuff that Frank Wolf does or whatever, that probably nobody's ever going to do except him. But also to make sure that, like, yeah, that might be a big feature we're doing, about a month-long canoe trip in the Northwest Territories, but we have stuff in there for everybody. From if you're just a weekend warrior, you're just getting started out, like, don't be intimidated by picking up the print magazine particularly. I think you'd find something to your liking in there, and you can work your way through that journey of I'll actually do that this weekend, all the way up to, wow, I'm never going to do that, but that's incredible to read about.
Because while the world went digital, Explorer not only modernized, but also stayed grounded. In paper, in purpose, in presence. And that has made all the difference. Because adventure doesn't happen on screen. It happens in forests, mountains, rivers. And sometimes in the quiet turning of a page.